So, picture this. Me at my local ice cream parlor. It's a hot summer day, and all I can think about is getting my hands on a delicious cold treat to beat the heat. Sounds fun, right? Wrong. They had about a bazillion flavors. I mean, who knew there could be so many different types of ice cream? I'm talking everything from mango sticky rice to lavender honey. Flavors I didn't even know existed. I stood there for ages, completely overwhelmed. My mind was racing, trying to process all the options. Should I go for something familiar or try something new and exotic? Chocolate chip cookie dough, pistachio with candied rose petals? And it didn't stop there. There was salted caramel pretzel, matcha green tea, and even bacon maple syrup. My brain was in overdrive, trying to weigh the pros and cons of each flavor. Should I stick with a tried-and-true favorite or venture into uncharted territory? 30 minutes and a mini meltdown later, I left with nothing. Yep, I couldn't decide. The pressure of making the perfect choice was just too much. That's analysis paralysis in action, folks. It's when you have so many options that you end up making no decision at all. It's like your brain goes on strike when faced with too many choices. It just shuts down, unable to process all the information. And trust me, it can happen anywhere, with anything. Whether it's choosing to rent or own a house, change careers, open a business, or even picking out a new gadget, too many choices can be paralyzing. So next time you find yourself overwhelmed by choices, take a deep breath and remember, sometimes it's okay to just pick something and enjoy the moment. Analysis paralysis. It sounds like a medical diagnosis, doesn't it? But don't be fooled by the term. Don't worry, you won't find it in any medical journals. It's not a condition that requires a prescription or a visit to the doctor. But it's a real thing. It's something many of us experience, often without even realizing it. It's that feeling you get when you overthink a decision. You're stuck. You're frozen. Your mind races through all the possible outcomes, weighing the pros and cons endlessly, like a deer in headlights, but the headlights are just your own thoughts. The more you think, the more paralyzed you become. You want to make the right choice so badly that you end up making no choice at all. You analyze every detail, every possible consequence until you're overwhelmed. And let's be honest, that's rarely the right choice either, is it? Inaction often leads to missed opportunities and regret. So, how do we overcome analysis paralysis? One way is to set a time limit for making decisions. Give yourself a deadline and stick to it. Another method is to simplify your choices. Narrow down your options to just a few and focus on the most important factors. Remember, no decision is perfect. Accept that there will always be some uncertainty and move forward with confidence. By taking these steps, you can break free from the paralysis and start making decisions that move you forward. After all, progress is better than perfection. We live in the information age. We're bombarded with choices every single day. Need new shoes? Boom! 500 different websites, each with a zillion options. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. Having too much information can be just as paralyzing as having too little. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You end up feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and still, no closer to making a decision. Look, we've all been there. Those moments when we find ourselves caught in the web of indecision, unable to move forward. That moment when you spend an hour researching the best vegetable peeler, reading countless reviews, and watching endless videos, only to end up more confused than when you started, or agonizing over which shade of white paint to use for your living room. You know, the one that will perfectly complement your furniture and lighting. Hint, they all look the same. It's okay to laugh at ourselves. These moments of overthinking are part of being human. They remind us that we care about making the right choices, even if it sometimes feels overwhelming. We're human. We overthink. We get stuck. We find ourselves buried under a mountain of options, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong decision. And sometimes we just give up and order takeout because we can't decide what to cook. It's a small surrender to the chaos of choice. The key is to recognize when we're stuck in analysis paralysis and then do something about it. Take a step back, breathe, and make a decision, any decision. Sometimes the act of choosing is more important than the choice itself. So next time you find yourself spiraling into indecision, remember, it's okay. laugh it off, take a deep breath, and just go for it. Life's too short to be stuck in the endless loop of what-ifs. So, how do we escape this analysis paralysis trap? Good news, it's easier than you think. First, limit your options. Remember that ice cream nightmare? Yeah, don't do that. Give yourself a manageable number of choices. Second, set a deadline. Don't give yourself forever to decide. Pick a time and stick to it. Third, trust your gut. Sometimes the first thought you have is the best one. Don't overthink it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember, you're not alone in this. We all fall into the overthinking trap from time to time. The important thing is to learn from it and develop strategies to move forward. Think of it this way. Every time you overcome analysis paralysis, you're one step closer to becoming a decision-making ninja. Now I know what you're thinking, Ellen, you want me to plan? But planning takes time, and time is the enemy when you're frozen in indecision. Hear me out. Having a plan, even a simple one, can actually save you time and stress in the long run. Think of it like this. If you're going on a road trip, you wouldn't just hop in the car and start driving aimlessly, would you? At the end of the day, the most important thing is to just do something. Don't let the fear of making the wrong choice paralyze you. There's no such thing as perfect anyway, so go ahead, make that decision. Buy that house you've been researching. Make that career move you've been wanting. You might be surprised at how freeing it feels to just take the leap.